and welcome to Get It Off Your Chest, the funny side of breast cancer. I'm your co-host, Estelle Marr, and I'm joined with...
Andrea Moulding.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Estelle?
I'm fine. I'm just listening to my voice. I seem to have gone a bit Bonnie Tyler in the last 5 minutes. I think it's
Got to give up
all my heavy drinking that I've been doing recently. So, Andrea, what's your news this week? Anything to report?
Nothing exciting. I'm kind of got surgery coming up, so I'm just kind of living like a hermit really at the moment. You know,
Are you
going
still
out
doing
and
your
hazing.
fasting?
Say again?
Are you
Oh,
still
God.
doing your fasting?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. And I go around the hazmat suit most of the time, avoiding germs.
So how much have you lost?
Well, not enough.
Not as much as you wanted to, put it that way.
Exactly.
You can tell by your face.
I haven't had a drink all week either, so I'm kind of being super good.
She's not a good advert for fasting, is she, boys and girls?
Well, what about you, Estelle? What have you been up to?
Well, I celebrated 4 years of actually being cancer-free this week. That anniversary came around.
That's awesome.
And it made me a bit reflective about things that I still do since cancer. I don't know about yourself, but I still sleep propped up. You remember we had the drains and you'd have to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Like Joan Crawford in the bed.
Yeah.
I still sleep propped up. It's the only time I'm comfy.
Really?
And a weird one, and I don't know why I do it. It's just clearly a comfort thing. But I don't know if you had one. Did you have a mastectomy pillow?
No, but I coveted everyone who did have one. I really wanted one.
Well, I found on Facebook a group of ladies who made them and just posted them free of charge, and they made them all lovely. They were all gorgeous. Mine was a heart shape, and yeah, I still now, prop it under my armpit and walk around like it's a little handbag. And I don't know why, I still find it really comfy, and there's nothing to prop up anymore. It's just that weird thing. It's 4 years ago. But anyway, so today we've got a fabulous guest on, haven't we? Her name is
Certainly
Lissa
have.
Sears.
Yep.
What do we know about Lissa?
Well, the first thing I noticed about Lisa is she has the most amazing pink mullet. And you know me, I'm partial to a bit of a mullet. A bit of a MacGyver fan. Yes, bring on the pink mullet.
Sounds like she's coming in any second now.
There I am.
Hey!
Hello.
Lisa, welcome to the studio. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Loving the hair, by the way. You're looking fabulous.
Didn't you win a competition for your mullet, Lisa?
I am. I'm the Indiana State Fair mullet champion. I'm 25th in the nation.
There was a
How dumb.
Just so I can say to the boys and girls at home, Lisa is sat here with this fabulous, fabulous pink flamingo. That's the best colour I could say. It is pink flamingo mullet. And I just don't know how anybody could beat it. If you're 25th, what do the other 24 look
What's
like?
number one like?
Yeah.
So we didn't have any. We were doing the largest flatties meetup in Colorado, so we had no internet. The voting started on International Flat Day and ended the last day that we were in. The last day of voting was when we just had gotten off the mountain, so we didn't have internet service. It was online voting. So the in-person one is the one I won. So that meant more to me, anyways. Instead of just like popularity voting for people.
Yeah.
There's always next year, Lisa, when you take over the world.
I was the only female. It was the men's open competition.
Good girl.
Well done.
Can I ask where you're joining us from, Lisa? Whereabouts in the States are you?
I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana. So basically in the middle of nowhere, the crossroads of America. We got a bunch of cornfields.
You make it sound delightful.
Well, actually, I love it. I've never moved anywhere else. I travel a lot, but I wouldn't live anywhere else. I love it here. I do.
So could you just tell us about your, just very briefly, your cancer, when you had it, what kind of cancer you had and your treatment and how you are now?
Yeah. So in 2014, me and my ex-girlfriend at the time were driving in the car and I said something smart aleck and she backhanded me in the boob and I grabbed my boob and I said, real funny when I get breast cancer. Now, mind you, I'm 49 years old. They used to tell us that we could get breast cancer if we got hit in the boob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I boxed, I had to wear cups in my sports bra for boxing. And so I had said that 100 times. That was the last time I said it. I found a little knot and I was like, well, that's not normal. And
Mm.
in my gut, I knew what it was right then. I never had a question. And so I put on Facebook, because I always went just to my family doctor, that I needed a girly doctor with small hands. I prefer a gay man with small hands. And
You're so specific.
well, being a lesbian, I wanted to, I wanted a gay man, small hands. So I found an amazing doctor, and I went and saw her, and she felt my lump and everything. And then she goes, "Do you want me to give you an exam?" And I'm like, "Are you hitting on me?" So she's like, "No, your girlfriend's right there, and I don't think my husband would like it." So I went to my breast surgeon, and she goes, "Well, it's cancer." And I was like, "Well, I figured." And she took us into a room and introduced me to my nurse navigator. And I said, "Well, I've got 2 questions." She's like, "Okay." And I said, "Has it spread, and am I going to die?" And they said, "Well, we don't think it's spread, and you're not going to die." And I said, "Give me a piece of paper and a pen then." And they just looked at me, and I wrote down all my 5K runs and my mini marathon and my trip to Vegas, my trip to Mexico. And I said, "Well, here's my schedule, work around it."
And did they?
Oh yeah, she goes, "Well, Dr. Body is not going to want you to go to Mexico." I said, "Well, Dr. Body doesn't have a choice. He may be the captain of the ship, but I'm the ship, and I'm going." It was for our 30th birthday. We'd been planning it for years. I'm like, I'm not missing it. So, and I had IDC and interductal carcinoma, stage 2, aggression 3. I actually got it from a drug study. I was in an MS drug study because I have multiple sclerosis, and that drug actually gave me my breast cancer.
And did you
really?
know at the time that you were at risk of getting breast cancer through this drug?
Well, the nurse for my drug study, because I was in it for about 3.5 years, and every time I went in, she had to go through she had to personally read all the list of things, possible side effects, and I never listened.
But they say that about all drugs. I noticed
You have
that
a
in America.
paracetamol, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely notice more when you go to America and they do those drug adverts on the telly, and it'll just be for, I don't know, something for diarrhea. And the funny thing is, they go, "You may experience diarrhea or death." It's like, so you're not going to cure it, and you're going to kill me at the same time. But can I ask, you're a stand-up comedian, aren't you?
I do. When I'm busy working with the flatties, I do that, and I act and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So were you that
cancer
before
is,
cancer, or did cancer make you a comedian?
well, I've always been a funny person, but cancer was the best thing to ever happen to me. Honestly, it changed the way I look at life.
Good.
And made me a better person for sure. I was sitting at a poker game one night, and our Indianapolis Colts football punter was sitting next to me. I didn't even realize it. And he talked me into doing comedy. So I tried it, and I did comedy, and I was decent at it.
Yeah.
And it was fun to make people laugh, because we need more laughter. We need more of it in this world.
So,
Yeah,
how do
it
you
was
bring
fun.
cancer into your comedy routine,
So
or do you?
I usually have, a lot of times I don't have a shirt. I end up without a shirt on stage, because people need to see flat. They need to see it. But no, so usually the way I get into it usually is, when people find out I had breast cancer, they're always like, "I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Why? Did you give it to me? I knew you could catch the gay. I didn't know you could catch the cancer." You can't catch the gay. I tried to give it to many women. You can't. Most I've given them is the straight. A few times, but sometimes with breast cancer comes a little girly cancer, and so I had to go to the doctor, and I'm sitting there looking all sexy with my feet up in the stirrups, and she said, "You do look good," and I was like, "Well, I did shave for you." She's like, "No, that's not what I meant." and she pulled out this wand. It was that wand. It was huge, and I'm like,
Where you
"I'm supposed to wear that?"
Oh, that's
I found
funny.
out because she took my virginity that day. So I asked her, "Do I owe you dinner?" So I do a little bit of that, kind of stuff, because you got to laugh about it, and some
Yeah.
people do a little pushback. They're like, "Oh, can't laugh at cancer." And I'm like, "Listen, if I'm laughing at it, you better laugh at it."
Exactly.
That's
And
why we've done the podcast. That's why we do the podcast, because it just normalizes it. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you've got cancer." And you're like, "No, don't talk to
I'm
me
not.
like that."
I'm not sorry at all. Don't say you're sorry, because I'm not. I wouldn't give it back for anything. I would not change one bit of anything.
Oh,
Who I
fabulous.
am right here, right now, is where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be.
So can I ask, with your stand-up, have you found that your audience has changed? Are they predominantly more cancer people now?
No, my audience has changed. But well, that's not totally true. Like when I was out in California, there was a Flatties group. We had a Flatties retreat out there. So half of the club was packed with Flatties.
Mm.
My first ever standing ovation was the first time I took my shirt off on stage. Actually, I worked with a burlesque troupe, and they came out, and I did my stand-up set, and I did a fake close, and then the host comes out and goes, "Oh, you know what would be better is if the Flapper Girls were out here," and they came out, and she goes, "But you know what even better is if you took your shirt off," and I was like, "No." Anybody who knew me in the audience was like, "Okay, whatever," because they know I just go topless all the time, anytime I can. I started a Topless Tuesday because somebody reported me for nudity the first time I posted a topless picture of myself, and I was like, "Don't tell me what not to do. Now you're going to get it all the time." So, but the girls came out and they took she goes, "Well, we like consent, please." And I said, "All right." And they took my shirt off me, and I got a standing ovation. It was my first one ever.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
You know, and if it can help somebody, because cancer changes you mentally,
without a
physically,
doubt.
everything.
Yeah.
So
It
many people
does.
are like, "How do I get back to the old me?" You can't, honey.
Well, you
You
can't.
can't.
No. I went through a
Yeah.
very confusing time just after that, when I started to feel like I'd recovered. And then I was like, but I still don't feel normal. And who am I? And who's this person? You know, and all that carry on. But I think you have to go through that process, don't you? So what would you say
It's
was
just,
your funniest moment ever on your cancer journey?
oh God, there's so many of them. I think, I think one of them would probably be when after my surgery and I had my drainage tubes,
Yeah.
and my nurse practitioner goes, you should go flash Dr. Body at my oncologist. She was like one of the best there is. And so
Can I
she
just
had all
stop
the
you
other,
there? Is your doctor
yeah,
called Dr. Body?
Batia.
Oh, Botia. I thought you were going Dr. Body. I was like, wow, what a name for a doctor.
No, but the one of the gynos names was Dr. Box, and I wanted that one because
Oh, I like that.
Dr. Box for my box. Yes, please. She had a 6-month wait. I couldn't wait on her though. So, but my oncologist was Dr. Body, and she went and got him, and he came around the corner, and I was like, "Look, Dr. Body, I wasn't gonna have boobs, but look at my balls because I had my drainage balls." And he's like, away. He just walked away.
Oh, brilliant.
Got rid of me boobs and got a pair of balls instead.
Right. Well, and what's funny is my shirts, when I first got diagnosed, a friend of mine designed shirts and it said, "Who needs boobs when you have huge balls?" Yeah. Well, and then he asked me, he goes, "What does that tattoo say right there?" And I said, "It's a Japanese proverb. It's in Japanese." And I said, "It says go fuck yourself." And he goes, "I believe that with you." It actually says fall down 7 times, stand up 8. It doesn't say go fuck yourself.
But he did believe you, Lisa.
He did. He goes, "I believe that with you." Yeah. So now every time he sees me at the cancer center, he goes, "Oh, there's trouble." You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh through all of it. And I mean, every bit of it, I laughed through all of it. There wasn't a time. My second treatment was on St. Patty's Day. I was bald, and I showed up with one of those little bitty hats that you had to, had the elastic around you to hold it on,
Yeah.
and a red beard.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm ready for chemo. I look like a little leprechaun. But
Oh.
you have to laugh through all of it, because you have 2 choices. You have to laugh or cry. You got to embrace the suck, or the suck will embrace you.
Is right. And if you give it an inch, it will consume you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it will. It's like a bad partner. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah. A bad
Cancer's
partner.
the same way. A bad partner.
We've all had them, haven't we?
Yeah. That's why I say we can all do hard things. I've dated many of bad people. We can all do hard things. Cancer is going to be easy.
I know. I was just sitting here thinking, would I rather have cancer back or one of my exes? And I think I'd rather have cancer back. I've had some buttes.
I don't have time anyways. I have 3,300 Flatties in my group that I deal with on a daily basis. We're going cross country starting July 4th to do Flatties meetups, because the community is so important, because so many people have never met another Flattie. They feel like they're all alone. They feel like they're maimed, and they don't realize it's okay to look like they do. And so it's very important for the Flattie meetups to meet other Flatties.
I think
and
it's
so
fantastic.
we're trying, because we had a map. We crashed it because we had so many people. I put up a map in our group, and people were marking where they were, and we've connected people in Africa and the UK to other Flatties and stuff like that, and Australia and everywhere. So we do have a bunch over there in the UK that have said, "Come over here," and we're like, well, right now it's like can't funding wise, but eventually, hopefully, we can. I'm grateful to my cancer. I don't want it again, but I'm very grateful to it
Yeah.
because it changed me and who I am as a person, and I feel like I'm a 10 times better person, than I ever
Oh, I
was.
do, without a doubt. I actually admitted I think for the first time about 2 or 3 weeks ago that I was glad I had cancer, and I couldn't believe
People
that
are
those words
blown
actually
away.
came out of my mouth. Yeah.
Right? People are blown away when I'm like, cancer is the best thing that happened to me. People are like, what?
Puts
I know, I
everything
I'm
wouldn't
like,
say
"You've
it was
not
the
had
best
it."
thing that happened to me. I had an amazing orgasm about a month ago, and that was pretty mind-blowing. So I'm not going to say cancer was the best. Anyway.
Moving on.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones after cancer that can still do that shit. So many of us are just like dried up, done. Nope. Good.
Keep hearing this. Keep hearing about these women who like the legs
Tap out.
are harder from the waist down.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
everybody
It's very,
talks
very
about
common. Very common.
vaginal dryness,
Yeah.
and then they abbreviate it to VD, which is venereal
venereal
disease.
disease.
Well, yeah.
Abbreviation.
I've never seen anybody put VD or they just say they're just dry. Matter of fact, we have a CBD lube that my boss sent me with some samples to Colorado to give these people because
Yeah.
we do have CBD lube for that. But yeah, no, my shit don't work. And my doctor goes, we have medicine for like that. And I was like, no, don't fix it. I don't want it fixed. It doesn't work. I don't think about it. I don't need it. It doesn't matter. I don't have to worry about any of that.
So sorry,
at-
CBD lube. So
CBD lube, yeah.
Yeah, but so and do you feel effects of it, or is it
It
just
gets your
makes
pussy high. No, it doesn't. I'm kidding.
What does it do?
Well, it helps with inflammation. So CBD helps with inflammation. So it'll maybe help over time it not to be rejuvenate its own wetness. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have people buy it, right? So it works, I guess. So
Tell all the ladies and gentlemen about your details of your your flatty tour. How can people find out about you?
well, if you are a flatty, we are on Facebook. Flat Out Love is the group. Like I said, we got about almost 3,300 people in that. We do have an Instagram page for people that aren't flat necessarily that anybody can see because we got people that want to see that aren't necessarily flat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's Flat Out Love too. And then on YouTube you can watch the podcast or my comedy. It's on YouTube, and that's my comedy. That's a lot of flatty videos, and our Flat Out Secrets podcast is on that too.
Great.
You can find us. You can look us up if you want to donate. That would be amazing.
Yeah, get donating,
absolutely.
everybody.
We would love donations so that we can get across the country to meet up with these flatties. Like one of the girls goes, I am crying because I didn't think I'd ever get to a meetup because I'm in a wheelchair now and and she goes, and you guys are coming right to me.
Yeah, so you're doing so much good. It's so much
it's very important.
Really,
it's very important,
It is. And we applaud
enjoy
you
it.
for it. But
Oh,
thank you ever so much.
You've been a great
brilliant.
guest. Really enjoyed meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
ya. Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
So that was Lissa Sears, all the way from Indiana in Indianapolis. Is that how you say it? I can't say
I have no
it.
idea. In the centre where they filmed Children of the Corn. Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Oh, you make it sound quite sinister now.
Yeah. Well, I think that is the sort of place. So that's where I imagine it.
I think what she's doing is just absolutely marvellous, like getting all these flassies together and and hopefully they'll all get their funding and we'll come all the way over to England and we can go there and then if we'll be welcomed because you'll have your new boob then, won't you? You won't have to bind you up. After that 5-year wait, you're gonna have to get all bound up, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of 3 weeks out now, and I'm basically kind of living like a nun. I go out in my kind of hazmat suit and won't speak to anyone. I'm like, get away from me.
You're determined to get this tit, aren't you, Queen?
Well, we'll see. Could be third time cancelled, but
it's gotta be.
I'll probably get COVID or something the day before. But
don't say that. I sound like I've got COVID.
You do.
My voice has gone all strange. I don't know if it's because I've recently been on holiday and I've been shouting and screaming and singing and drinking far too much. So I think that's why.
Where did you go on holiday?
I went to Spain. I went to Spain with a couple of friends. I'll give Pinhead and Sarah a bit of a shout out on the podcast. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was good. Have you ever been to Spain?
I have.
Yeah.
In fact, the last time I came, I went there rather,
Yeah.
was for my niece's wedding. And I'd never been to a wedding overseas, and I'd had loads of treatment. And you know, like you haven't been out, you've been bald, you know, you've been too ill to go out. Well, not only was I going out, I was going to Spain. I was so overexcited. I was like a 2-year-old. So I got my kind of groovy clothes on, got to where we were going, and it was so hot. And I'm like completely white as it is. I don't tan very well. So, you know, I had the big hat on and I had my false boob on and I was walking around, but it was really, really hot. And I've only recently, I suppose, had the masectomy, not like now, like I'm a tough old, you know, bit of leather,
Oh,
you know, like an old Roman boot. It was quite sore. It was quite sore then. And I had my kind of big plastic, you know, boob on.
yeah.
And I was walking around and I had quite a lot to drink because, you know, I'd forgotten how to behave because I hadn't been out for so long. And I met my sister and her friend Pip going to the loo. And I said, oh my God, it's so uncomfortable. Not only is it really hot and sweaty, it's chafing at my scarf.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really sore. It was
sorry.
actually really, really sore.
Yeah.
And my sister, who used to work in the designer room at Harrods,
Yeah.
she pulled me into the toilet with her friend Pip, whipped out my boob, and made, I don't know how she did it because I've tried to recreate it 100 times. She made me a papier mâché, or
Papier mâché.
papier mâché
Yeah.
boob out of toilet roll.
Oh yeah.
Really wet, right? She put it in my bra, and it was lovely and cooling because it was wet, and it was brilliant shape. I
Yeah.
thought, oh my God, this is amazing. It was really light, cool, everything. Anyway, there were like people banging on the door, you know, like women always go to the toilet together. My sister grabbed my kind of, what are they called, froob or whatever they call, no, they're yogurts. My my false boob,
Yeah.
folded it in half
Yeah.
and walked back to the table. And on the way to the table, this woman stopped her and said,
Oh God.
oh my God,
What?
fabulous clutch bag.
No.
Where is it? And
No.
my sister said, it's from Milan, it's a one-off. The woman goes, oh, I can tell.
Oh
It
my
matched my
God.
sister's outfit. It was so funny. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, it was fantastic. Wish I kept it.
And what happened to the false boob? Did that sit on the table all night?
Well, I
Looking
think it did.
fabulous.
I think it did sit on the
Time
table.
to look Italian.
Got confused with the meringue pudding. No, it went into my sister's handbag, and
Oh God.
but that
Oh.
night I actually took somebody's jacket home with their keys and wallet in that I thought was mine.
Oh my God. Oh,
It
how
was a bit of a
pissed were
big
you?
night. It was a big night. So that was the last time I went to Spain, really.
When it was somebody's jacket. The best one I had to recently actually, I don't know if I was sick at the time or it was just before I was sick. And I went out around Liverpool, big gang of us with the girls. Oh, and men actually. And there was it was a work thing and there was a little young one, bless her. And I left early and goes to work on Monday and she went, oh, Estelle, you left your jacket in the club and give me this jacket. I was like, that's not my jacket. I said, that's actually a man's jacket. It was like off a suit. She was like, shit, I've been walking around Liverpool for about 3 hours with this coat. And I've got to keep hold of this coat since Estelle's. I'll give it to her on Monday. So, no, not mine, love.
Did it have any money in it?
And then we did, Jack. We went through the book. Yeah, typical Scousers, but yeah, oh, it's a shame you didn't keep your papier mâché boob.
I did try to recreate it on many occasions, but
But you didn't. You weren't a designer for Harrods, so you'll have to get your sister to do it.
yeah. No, she'll have a whole line. She'll have her own boutique. Yes, toilet
Fabulous.
paper, boobs.
Yeah, definitely.
So watch
Go
this
with all
space.
drain wear. This little shop that we're going to we're going to open.
Boutique.
Actually turning into a department store.
It is. It's taking over the world, darling.
Aren't we, darling? Right. Well, I think it's time for us to shut up Tissy Towers. So we're going to say goodbye to all the boys and girls out there.
Thank you for listening.
Definitely. If you want to get in touch with us, we are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, but we've got our website as well.
Toying with TikTok. I'm toying with TikTok.
We're toying with TikTok.
We're toying with TikTok.
We're having a little dalliance with another social media platform. But I do want to say to everybody out there, whatever podcast platform you are listening to, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss one of our fabulous episodes.
Exactly.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Miss Sandra?
Yeah, and if you like what you hear, please either come on as a guest or send in your stories or leave us a review.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should start asking for reviews now.
Yes, as long as it's good. As long as it's 5-star.
But yeah, you can share your story either on the social media platforms, or you can email us on stories@tittytowers.com. So it's time to say goodbye to all the boys and girls out there.
Goodbye and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.